Alright. Well, I think that's the last of it. And you know where that broken glass came from. My glass patio table. However, we're going to fix it. But we're not going to use glass. We're going to use wood. Alright, so here's the frame. It's probably really fragile right now. I started taking these clips out. They hold the glass up on here. So they're over on the side here. They're all around the place. Those are going to be my support for holding the boards. And it looks to be about 3/4, so hopefully I don't have to plane anything down. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. Here's the table. About that wide needs to be the board inside. And this way is about 62. So 62 plus or minus divided by 5.5 equals about 11.27 boards. And you probably can't see that, can you? Yeah, 11.27 boards. So, because I want the boards to be an equal number, I'm going to take 5.5 times 11, and that's going to equal, would you stop doing that? Get the hell out of here. And where was I? 5.5 times 11, 60.5, so 62, and 60.5 gives me 1.5 inches divided by 10 equals 0.15, which 0.125 equals 1/8. So the gap between is going to be about 1/8 of an inch. Now, hope you saw all that. Alright, so the way I'm going to do this is the boards are going to go this way. I'm going to go all the way this way. Get the hell out of here. You're going to go this way. And this is not accurate, you know, so they're going to go this way. And in these corners, how do I do that? This board is going to be supported on this corner. And the same with this corner and this corner. And under the lip. Remember, you have the lip. And then underneath, on the bottom, I'm going to run 2 runners because this is the only support in this corner and this corners. These will be supported by these 2 boards and these 2 runners. So we'll screw from underneath Hey, that's 11. Right? So that's how we're going to do it. So let's cut some wood and get down to it. And I was very picky about selecting these. You have to be picky. Because, alright, where did I put my pen? The grain, oh, and just kicked the camera again. The grain has to be in a certain position because it's going to be out in the weather. So if you're looking at the end of the board, you got 3/4, 5 1/2. The grain, you want the grain like this. Over time, it's going to cup up. Well, that'll allow raindrops to come down and go off the edge between the gaps. So you want all your boards to have the grain going down. And that's after you cut them, after you install them. Let's get a picture on that. So you want the grain, this is the top. And this is the bottom. And you want them all to be the same. So when you select your boards, be very picky about which board you get, because sometimes you get a board with the grain like that, and on the other end of the board, it's upside down. So that's why you got to really be picky on your boards. That way the water will not collect on top of your boards. On your new non-glass table, wood patio table. Alright? Alright, enough about that. Time to cut the wood. Alright, so I'm going to pick this up and bring it over to the saw. The heck was that? I have too many bugs around here. Oh, I see. Now the spider wants to get them. Good luck. Alright, as I said, this is #1 prime pine. And the ends, pretty damn square. You see that? So, I'm not going to use my miter saw to trim them up. I don't have to. But I already made the marks right here and here at 35 and 13/16. It could be 7/8. That might be a little tight for the frame. I'd rather have a little bit of play. So I'll cut this one this way, and come in this way, and cut this one this way. Oh, and by the way, I'm only going to do the tops. If, hang on a minute. You go by the wood. Cup down, then this is the top. You don't want to go cup up. That's the bottom. So I'm only sanding the top for obvious reasons. You know, I'm lazy. Give me a break. Alright, thanks. Time for more sanding. So you can't see them, so I'll darken them up. By the way, if you saw my other video, those magnets, well, I mean those magic nuts are still hanging, and they'll stay like that forever. Magnetic Mayhem and magic nuts. They're still there. They're just hanging. If you break the circuit, they fall apart. And they're not magnetic. Alright, let's get back to the wood. And by the way, the rubber gloves are the best way to do staining. Protect your fingers, you know. Indoor, outdoor. That should be some good stuff. Thought I just might share this tip with you. On every can of paint, polyurethane, whatever, you always get this lip filled with crap. So what I do is just poke some holes in there. So as you clean your brush off and it gets in here, it drips back in. And then when you put your lid on, you can take it off easy again. That's just a tip. Tip number 2. Always use a flat blade screwdriver. It doesn't make so much of a mess. When you pull it up and you see a glob down there, you didn't stir it enough. So I stir it until there's no glob left on the bottom, which is almost there. Alright, so dust it off. I would rather do this inside. Small shop talk. I do it outside and take what I get. It's going to be outside anyways. Oh, that's looking good. Alright, here's coat number 2. Gonna give it a real light sanding with 220. I'll let it sit overnight again. I'd rather not rush it. It says 4 hours, but I'm not gonna be out here in 4 hours. So I'll do it tomorrow when I get back from work. Well, it's been another day and they're dry. This is actually coat number 4 and looking pretty awesome. Alright, I think it's time to put this puppy together. Let me bring it over to the patio and assemble it on site. Alright, I got one side in. I'm going to put this end in second. You put them in the middle because the middle bends open so they fit, and then slide them down, and then you might need a clamp to help squeeze them into place. Let me show you that.
See, this is bent. I'll put a screw in here if I wanted to. Alright, next board.
Now the table being 62, these being 60, put a mark here at 4.5 and an inch, and on the other end, same thing. So these are going to go under here. Two screws in the bottom. First, I want to round this off. It's going to be close to the edge underneath. I don't want to stick my knee on it. Now I just put the 2 screws in the bottom going up, and then I take the clamps off and put the rest of the boards in. I'm not going to like getting on the floor here, but it's got to be done. Someone's got to do it. My name's Bill. Where there's a Bill, there's a way. Something like that. Sure, I got it wrong. Alright, 2, 4, 6, 8 screws coming up. And there you go. Got first 8 screws in. 2 on the ends, 1 for everything in the middle. The supports are 2 inches exact. The boards are 3/4. It's 2 3/4. I used 2.5 inch screws. I did not countersink when I pre-drilled the holes. Softwood, I do not want to penetrate the top. So I hope it's strong enough with the 1/2 inch thread on the ends. That's 2, 4 at a 1/2 inch. The middles only need to go in a little bit also, and that's just to keep them from moving. These 2 end boards do all the support. So I'm going to start in the middle where it bends out so I can fit these underneath the lip and then slide them in. Start in the middle, pull them down. Start in the middle, push them over. And for the spacing, it just so happens I've got some stainless steel 16 penny nails that are exactly 0.15. The spacing that's on paper. So we'll use that to space them out before I put any more screws in. We'll get all the boards in first and then get the screws in. And I think that's going to be it. Alright. Show you this first board here. Those silver dots there are the nail heads that are making my spacing. I got the first 5 boards in. I'm going to save the middle one for the very last. And now I'm starting on the other end. I got 2 boards on that end. You know, I'd be done already if I wasn't filming this. But that's the way it goes. You know, sometimes what works out on paper doesn't work out in real life there. Theory versus reality. My gaps are too big. I did something wrong. I'm going to fix that. I'll just go find some smaller nails. Make the gaps smaller. I'm just using the nails to make sure I'm kind of uniform. I could do it by eye, you know. But the nails are really close to 0.15. And that's supposed to be the gap. I think the left and right ends, I'll have to get underneath there and look. They might not be in all the way. Let me go verify that. So, for a starting point, I pushed all the boards together and measured the overall gap. It's a 1/2 inch, 0.5 on one side and 0.48 on the other. Don't ask me how that happened either. Probably some drips on the finish there. So 0.49, so 0.05 is my gap I'm going to go for. There's 10 gaps, divide that by 10. So I'll be right back with the magic of the camera. Woo woo! Well, that's a small gap, but at least there is a gap. And you might be saying, what's so important about the gap? Well, I said before, so the water doesn't puddle on top of the table, it's got a place to run out. This is wood, it's going to be outside. They're all cupped down, so that means they're domed on top, so it'll run off the left and the right, from left to right, and fall out through the gaps. That's why the gap is so important. And they will probably twist and bend over time. So, it's wood, what can you do? I'm having fun doing it. Alright, next is to put the screws in on the bottom through those pre-drilled holes. Well, here's a sample of how it works in the rain. The finish is really well. Really good. The gaps are not big enough, and the wood is not completely flat. Big puddle right here. That's the problem dealing with wood. Here over here, it's right on the edge by the gap, but it's not going over. The gap's way too small. This middle board, this board right here, I might have to take it cut it down and refinish it, and then make the gaps at least 1/8 of an inch. Other than that, the puddles, here's another puddle. The boards are supposed to be domed. It changes with the weather. Now there's some vinyl 3/4 by 5.5 or 1 by 6, and it has texture like wood, but even the wood texture would hold water, but it would never rot. We'll see what this does. Should be fine with the good finish I put on there. See, that's just not going through the gap. And I tried, but the edge is actually a little higher. Now, for next time, I have to make a list of what to do and what not to do. The do's and don'ts. What would work better? A bigger gap would work better. Flatter wood would work better. The finish is nice. I'm not going to sweep it off or nothing. I'm going to let it sit here and see what happens. Alright. And again, thanks for watching. Well, here's an update on the table. Had a couple of rainy days. Leaves are falling, seeds are falling. Little pine needle seeds or something. But it looks like it's holding up pretty good. Oh, that's a good finish. I'm still not happy with the gaps. I didn't want to, but I'm going to take that middle piece out and cut it down and put the stainless steel nails back in for a nice gap so the water can run out. So that means that centerpiece will have to be refinished on the ends, the left and right edge. So other than that, it's pretty strong. It'll even hold up a truck. Watch this. See? There's a truck on a damn table. That's pretty strong to me. Okay, I know. It's not a truck. That's a toy. Now here's a real truck. Watch this. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to Rockzilla. Yep. He's a beast. And the table still holds it up. Alright. Thanks for watching.